Hi guys, it's Dan again with some very exciting news regarding Grafton Heath and some big changes that are afoot. I've been getting underway with some of those, starting to, well, there's only one word for it: dismantle the layout. It's a big word, and I never thought that I'd use it, but there's a couple of different reasons for it, and I have started doing it just to change certain things about Grafton Heath that I think will make running better, accessibility better, and overall scenes better as well. And so I'll give you an example of what I mean now, just to explain where my thought process is coming from. Okay, so one of the main reasons that I want to change Grafton Heath for the better is because of accessibility. In here, from wall to wall here, is about 350 mil. So that's a little bit over the size of a ruler. And for a bloke like me, it's a little bit tight sort of getting around. If I can zoom in there, what happens is I keep knocking those lights. Those people are down because I've ripped them off the platform. And as I say, the platform comes up because they're glued to the platform, they do rip up the top platform section there. So accessibility is an issue there, and I also have the duck under, which I have to go under each time. Look, I don't mind that so much. You know, that's all part of it. I just had the one duck under, and I had sort of the layout going around in I guess you'd say a square O shape, let's say, with more space in between. It wouldn't be so bad, but I don't have that at the moment, and that is one option I'm considering, making a smaller version, perhaps a 6 foot. So I guess if you think it'd come to about there, by 10 foot, so smaller, which would come to about maybe there, perhaps. I'll have to measure that out. So just making a smaller layout as well. This layout's actually in my folks' garage, and I'd actually like to, they haven't requested this, but I'd actually like to just create more space for them as well. They've been very, very good to give me this space, which I'm most appreciative of, but I think it's time to repay a little bit of the favour and just free up some space for them to actually utilise. And I think making a smaller layout will be a benefit to them as well as me as far as operation is concerned. Because this is my first real go at a big layout, track wasn't put down, I suppose, as best as it probably could have been. Not so much the laying of the track, but more so the certain corners that I've used. I've got a point going into there and then quickly coming out to there, as you can see just there. But also those corners there aren't really proper radius as well. In fact, I think they're they'd be probably 18 inch or something like that. And it's just not suitable for the larger coaches, and certainly any of the locos that have front bogie, they're steam locos, Flying Scotsman, that I've now packed up here, ready to go. Flying Scotsman, or the Castle class locos, which is that one there. They struggle. They don't get around the corners, and I put up with it for a while, and I thought, look, maybe I'll change those parts at one point. There's a lot of parts to change if that was the case, to the point where it's a big job. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go to that extent, I've learnt so much off YouTube, and I've learnt so much from doing what I've been doing on this layout, that I'm ready for the next stage of really putting some of that, some of those learnings into practice. And those will include, even though I absolutely love this village scene, but those will include having a really lovely village scene, but a bigger village scene, and a bigger graveyard for the church, and a bigger churchyard around to show the full wedding procession in here as an example. You know, it'll have a full station area with maybe still the 3 platforms as there is here, but it'll have a mainline station in front, you know, with some car parking out the side. You know, these are the things that I'm envisioning. I'd also like to have some of the Metcalf full houses running along, that I can actually connect with the bakery here too, for a streetscape scene and things like that. The good thing is I'm set up with a lot of things that I need. I mean, obviously, as you know, I've got all of the buildings along the town here. This town area I absolutely love, and I probably can't transfer that to the next layout, but I'll be making something very similar, and with the same sort of attributes, and obviously the zebra crossing. I've got the Belisha beacons to put in there too, which I have never done. Little fountain scenes, obviously interchangeable, as are all the cars and everything like that. So, you know, all of that stuff will get bagged up, along with all of my trees, which I've started taking out. They'll all get bagged up and put away safely. I've started taking some buildings up. I actually thought this one wouldn't be retrievable because I thought I'd accidentally glued the whole thing down to the board. But turns out, got it up off the board, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm also happy about the fact that it appears I can save a lot of the rocks. I was just going to throw all of them out. I thought they'd break up and just be destroyed. This one's actually this one's the first rock, the first plaster rock I did on the layout, and it's one of my favourites. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find a home for that. It's just a matter of replastering it on. So I'll save all of those where I can as well. Obviously, little people will come up. The brickwork here, which is just plasticard, as you can see it moving here, just some printed posters on top. That'll all come right up. Now that'll be brilliant because with that much red brick plasticard, I can do any number of brick walls really on the new and improved layout. And actually, speaking of walls, I may actually keep this concrete wall that I did along there, which is one of my sort of favourite bits, just made out of MDF and weathered, but I think it came up quite well. And I've got the posters of Aberdeen, Bridlington, Devon, lots of different areas, Yorkshire and different areas in the UK. Those I won't be able to keep, I wouldn't imagine, but I'll just reprint them again and use them on the new layout because I do like the poster look. So yeah, as I say, I've put a lot of I guess money into the layout already, and time of course, but money insofar as all of this, the stuff is concerned, the locos and the coaches and rolling stock and all that sort of thing, buildings and whatnot. But all of that I can use on the new one, and it's good too because I've got all these buildings. When I do the new layout, I can actually get the baseboard down pat and I can start laying out exactly where I think the building should go. Whereas when I first started this layout, I didn't have that option because I didn't have any of the buildings. So I think in that respect, it's going to make things a bit easier. The setup of the tables is such that they're all a series of 2 foot wide tables bolted together, essentially. So we've got some 4 foots and some 6 foots, I believe. There might even be an 8 footer in there, actually. Can't remember now. But so once I take the fascia off, those and remove wiring and whatnot, those areas, those tables will unbolt, and I can use the same tables in a different configuration. I'll have some of the problem that I'll have will be getting ballast up and scenery up off the tabletops, because some of it is straight onto the chipboard or straight onto the MDF. But look, that stuff's so cheap nowadays. If I need to, even if I can get most of it off and just turn the top over and re-screw it on, I mean, that'll work fine. The other thing I'm toying with the idea of is with layouts is perhaps putting extruded foam on the top, right across the top of the new layout, and that way I can dig into it and create some interesting sort of scenery as I go along with the new layout. So as you saw, I've already started packing up my trains, my expansive collection of locos, which includes 4 at the moment. So not many at all, and various items of rolling stock. But this is one of the reasons I want to change the layout, because at the moment 3 of the trains I can't run, problems with the track and curves and things like that. So I also put down a lot of the track on that foam underlay stuff, which I won't do again because it's just, I just think there's too much room for variance. So I'm just going to put it straight on the, and that's just my opinion, but I'm just going to put it straight onto foam base this time. So once I do that, and I can get a track that just runs beautifully, you know, rain, hail or shine, I can start doing what I've wanted to do for a while, and that's building up a loco collection, that's building up a rolling stock collection and getting some freight rolling stock and, you know, things like that. So that is all exciting. Now, format of the new layout, I hear you ask. Well. I'd thought about doing one, as I mentioned before, the square O design. 6 foot at each end, 10 foot down each side, 2 feet width on tables. And that might still be a goer, although one of the things I'm really quite partial to the idea of, and this creates good space, is actually having an L-shaped design. So from here, essentially, in an L-shaped design along here. Now, that looks like it's going to cut out heaps of what I've got now, heaps of space and everything like that. However, bear in mind that this is all wasted space. We've got all these mountains which essentially, they look okay, but they waste a lot of space. I've also got 6 by 4 foot of the layout, which you can't even see anyway. It's all back seen. So that's essentially all space that's, it is used. However, you know, it's essentially a bit like having wasted space as well. This is good too, because all this track of course isn't ballasted, so this will all be easy to pull up and utilise, and there's actually quite a bit of track there, so that'll be fantastic. So when you talk about all that, you think, well, hang on a second, maybe I'm not going to cut out that much of a running area, and there's some really nice designs that I'd be able to put down that will include point work and crossovers and things like that that'll make for really interesting running. And I still want to have 2 to 3 running tracks if at all possible for trains to be running at any one time. But I think you know, coming out 3 foot from the side will be the right measurements. I might just measure this in here and see what this is at the moment. Okay, so this is about 600, which is 2 foot. So when you consider, excuse me, that I'll have another foot to come out, which will essentially be, I'm just getting the tape measure here, sorry, which will essentially be to there. So that's a lot of table space extra along, right the way along this wall here, proposed, and right the way along there. It may even include having a top deck area as well. Haven't figured that out yet, but it wouldn't be this high, but having a top deck that comes down and curves around, comes down to the bottom and then goes back along again, and it's all ideas at the moment. But yeah, look, I'm excited. This has been a fantastic time building this Grafton Heath layout, and it's just time for the next step. Just a time to try and utilise some of the skills that all of you guys basically have shown me across the time, and a lot of the things I haven't been able to do because I'd already set down track or set down scenery or this or that or whatever. But I really like to put some of those ideas into practice now, and do things differently. There's things I definitely do differently. For instance, I wouldn't use pavement made out of paper anymore. Of course, that's a given. You know, as soon as you start putting PVA, things start warping and discolouring and all that sort of thing. But look, these are things you learn as you go along. It's a learning process, and it's a fun process at the same time. A lot of the ideas I'll keep. A lot of the ideas I'll probably bin, but that's how it all goes. So I think it's going to be very exciting. So there you go, guys. I said it was going to be big news, a big exciting news, and I hope I didn't disappoint. But obviously, as part of this video, I wanted to say thanks, a sincere thanks to all of you YouTubers out there as well that have that watch the videos and comment and help me along the way as well. It's absolutely brilliant, and of course you've put a lot of ideas and input into Grafton Heath, which is really, really nice. And a lot of those ideas I'll actually be transferring to the next layout as well, the next Grafton Heath. So so stay tuned, and please do stick along and see the progress of how I go. And if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see on the new layout, I would love to hear those as well. That'd be great. So thanks again, guys, and stay tuned for more exciting updates. And I will see you all soon. And take care. Cheers.